So, welcome back everyone. Again, I'm Johnnie Ferro, and this is Alex Calder from Slidewinder ring, the inventor of the Slidewinder ring. And he's going to do a little demo, basically pretending I know nothing at all, which is not too far from the truth, about Slidewinder rings and what they are capable of, and he's just going to get me started, as I'm brand new. So, Alex, take it away.
Sure. Thank you. It's an honor to be here, Johnny, and I'd say you're more capable than you give yourself credit for. But we're just, for the sake of helping people understand how to get up and running really fast with your Slidewinder ring. First of all, once you get your Slidewinder ring, it's going to look something like this. It's going to have two wings that bend and fit over your finger. It's also going to have a slide bar like this that goes across your finger diagonally. So the first place to start is middle of your middle finger, so that the slide bar is diagonal across the middle of your finger like that. And if you look at the other side, those two wings are like that. So basically what we're going to want to do to start with is custom fit this to your finger. Most people's fingers, as you notice, are more or less tapered. They're a little bit narrower at the top and at the bottom. Well, you want your ring to have that shape as it's sitting on your finger. So the first thing you do is you put it in the middle, like that. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the wings and you want to squeeze it until it wraps around your finger. And don't worry about breaking it. These are very flexible. So all I'm doing is I'm pressing in the top of it so that it's wrapping over, top, and around my finger. If there's any little edges sticking out, you can squeeze that like that, so that the top part is now snug but not too tight. And then now you just bend the bottom part to match that. So you squeeze around the bottom part of your finger, and if you look at it sideways, you want to see that there's no edges, and if it feels comfortable, you can bend your finger. Mine happens to be a little bit too tight, so I'm going to open it up again just to slide all the way down. What you really want is you want that center band to be right in the center so that there's no edge. When you bend your finger, it should literally disappear. Is that about right? Yeah, that looks good. How does it feel?
Feels good.
Okay. Yeah, if you can make what we call the fist test, which is you make a fist. If you can make it pretty tight, that means you should be able to play any chord, scale, whatever, and this won't get in the way. The ultimate test is the regular old D chord. We talked about that. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can make a D chord, that means it should be out of the way for everything, which is how you want it. Feel right?
Yeah, no, it feels great.
Okay. So on to the next step is before you start, whipping up and down the neck, it's a good idea to check your position. What the ideal is that you're not wearing anything. It should feel like it's not even there. So if you notice my hand position, my fingers are at a diagonal. As if I'm playing a C chord, G, D, whatever. But I'm not shifting my hand, and there's a really good reason for that. At a diagonal, if you keep your finger bent, never straighten, there's no need to, because it's, even if you're playing the ring, you should never need to straighten this way or straighten your finger. So really important to keep your finger bent, because that means this will not shift on you, and it's going to be more comfortable anyway.
Good.
Does that feel right?
Totally. That's
exactly
not even there, like you said.
The ultimate goal is that once you get used to having a ring on your finger, it's going to feel weird not having it. You're going to feel like you're naked. Because why wouldn't you keep it on if it doesn't get in the way?
Right.
Just keep it on for everything. Even if you're not planning to, oh, this is a Slidewinder song. Well, why take it away? Because you never know when the impulse might strike and you say, okay, I've always played this song without thinking of having the Slidewinder ring, but what if I just threw this little taste in there? And that's how you discover really cool things. So I recommend once you get it comfortable and it feels like you're not thinking about it, just leave it on. There's no reason to take it off. And you'll get comfortable not thinking about it and being able to use it right when you need to, anytime you want. So that's my first advice. The second one is don't think about it. This is kind of counterintuitive. Like, I'm wearing something. No, you're not. If you think you're wearing something, you probably are. It's sort of a philosophical thing.
Yeah, right.
But the point is, if you get to the point where you're not thinking about it, then it becomes natural. And so start with a natural playing position is my best advice, as if you're not wearing anything. For example, you should be able to do regular scales. And you can even use the finger that's wearing the ring like a finger. Right?
Okay.
Right.
Piece of cake.
Just like that. That's great, right? Not in the way of anything, right?
No problem at all.
Perfect. So the other thing, the trick is, so what's the difference between playing Slidewinder ring and playing with fingers? Unlike slide, which is a big like, oh, I'm playing slide now, so I gotta, you know, tube adjust everything. This is no adjustment at all. If you notice, I'm just resting it. This is a really counterintuitive thing, but it makes it so easy. It's so easy to play, but it's also easy to play it incorrectly and have issues. One thing is never press, because the magnets do all the work for you. That's as hard as you should ever press, which means don't press at all, because literally the magnets do all the work. So that's the other thing, is just float it. It's a floating fret. Just float it. Let it float. So that's it. That's as much as you should try. It looks easy, is it?
It's pretty damn effortless. Surprising.
Okay.
I mean, this is pretty much, I'm reliving meeting you at NAMM, and having the same moment, I'm like, Jesus, I can't believe this is actually occurring the way it is, but it totally is that.
Cool, man.
It's so ridiculously effortless.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And that's been my thing, is like, don't press, because
Right.
seriously, the more you press, the harder
Yes.
it actually is counterintuitive, but it's true. It's something you have to drill.
Right, and what it ends up doing is if you press too hard, it chokes off the note.
Yeah.
And it's also more work. Whereas, so I'm seeing your technique is actually really good. So I'll add just one little trick that you can add to what you're playing.
Sure.
And it's actually very easy, which is you'll find that when you pull away, it'll play itself. So I'll try to emulate more or less what you were doing without playing the exact same thing. So what you can do is you can glide onto and off of notes. I see that you're playing very precisely on the fret, which is good. It's good technique. So if you go, you'll find that it plucks itself. We call it off plucking or plucking off, where you go, and you can place it back on, so you can start adding extra notes to where you're playing already. Right. You pull away. So you pull away. Yes. Yes. Like that.
Yeah.
Right. So you can slide off of and onto notes and get extra. Right. That's pretty good, man. You picked that up really fast. So for extra credit, what you do is as you pull off, you glide back onto another note, either from above or below. So you go. Right.
Wow.
So you can start using the open notes that it's playing for you. It's literally playing for you. In fact, you probably saw me at NAMM. I was doing. This is good practice for that technique. Is that try not even using this hand.
Yeah.
So what you'll find is if you lighten your touch a little bit and you sort of bounce a little bit, that it becomes very fluid.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can mute the pedal. Yes. Yeah. Good, man. That's exciting to see you pick up.
That's a trip. Wow.
So congratulations. You've now entered what we call the Slidewinder only zone.
Oh, okay.
That's unplayable with a slide because you're actually plucking. It's plucking for you. So here's a little trick if you want to, press, if you want to wave to the crowd and impress people without. So, or what you can do is you can use your tone knob as a wah pedal, right?
Oh. That's something I've never tried before.
Yeah. You're just trying to show off, man.
Actually, I can't believe I've never thought to do that before.
It's only because you don't need this hand anymore. You can do that, right?
You can actually do it. Wow.
So okay, so
that's incredible.
I know it's getting into the kind of crazy. What? No, come on. You didn't just do that. So let's get crazier. I like that area of crazy. Like,
sure.
Wow, can you believe this?
Yeah, right.
So you have one. You have one on your right hand too.
That's true.
Okay.
I do have one on the right hand.
Okay. So you'll find that you can play. The great thing about this is if you put this again in the middle of the middle finger and you make a fist, you can use your fingers. I don't have a pick, but if I'm planning to use my all my fingers, a pick, whatever, it gets in the way of nothing. I use my right hand the same way I always do, and I can, right? Touch. You got that. You got that touch.
I'm getting that. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
So with the right hand, so you'll find out that you can experiment, and all these crazy cool sounds will come out that normally you don't associate with guitar because this is a new tool. Sounds kind of like a Sputnik. I call this Sputnik.
Yeah.
Right. So what you just discovered there was really a spontaneous thing that you discovered that, okay, you can control the tonality of this and the sustain of the notes by either muting with your right hand or muting with your left hand, because now you've got this as another instrument here.
Yeah, right. So you can forward it. Interesting.
Right. So what you can do is this very precisely grabs the note. And because I'm muting here, it's now a very precise staccato sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you can also move it, right? There's no rules here.
Right.
Right? Now that I've given myself the cheater aspect of marking off the notes, I can go, if I want the octave here, so normally there's a harmonic here. Sort of like a theremin type of, sound, right? Or a violin, or cello. If you want to use the lower notes, you can emulate a cello.
Wow.
Right? Wow. So the point is, it's almost like a bow, because once you're touching the string, you're not using the fret anymore. This is the fret. So wherever you put it, that's your note, and you don't need to worry about frets, including over the frets.
Right.
Right? And so basically it turns your guitar from end of the fretboard to your nut to the entire nut to bridge. That is now your guitar. You're playing all this stuff that was unplayable before.
Yeah.
And you got more tools to do this. What's wrong with playing 2 above the fretboard?
Wow.
Right? So there are no limits anymore with frets.
Yeah. Definitely getting that. Wow, that's absolutely incredible.
So one of my favorite things to do is just, well, how much sound can I get out of a guitar now that I've got 4 fingers, a thumb on both hands, and 2 extra fingers? Well, okay, I like to actually let it mix up, and you don't want to get to just creating noise. You want to make it musical. One of the things I found was one of my favorite techniques I call a fretboard drag race, which is where you take both of them and you have them chase each other around the fretboard. It's kind of crazy cool. So I started just like, for example, you can just slide up, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole. Okay, that's whatever. But what if I have them like follow each other very closely? I can actually get what is actually analog delay.
Okay.
Because I have. You're right. One's right after the other, so it creates a analog delay.
Wow.
So I'm following them, but I'm separating them by a certain interval.
Yeah.
So now the music is kind of, so you can alternate. There's no rules, but so the point is like. So whoops, lost part of my ring. So what you'll notice is that you have individual control, and you can have one playing one thing, one another, and so that becomes really fun. So back to the fretboard drag race, which is really fun. I have them chase each other, starting off with analog delay. And you can chase them down too, right? Point is, you can go any direction. I used to have a bunch of cool things worked out, but the point is, it's not what I worked out, it's what you can work out. And there are no limits. You've got 2 different instruments on both hands. Sky's the limit, and maybe not even that.
Wow, that's absolutely killer. So I think that's about what we got time for today. But
Okay.
Alex, thank you again so much for being here and for doing this and for showing us everything that you did. And it's just absolutely incredible, and I'm excited to see where Slidewinder Ring goes from where it already is. It's absolutely fantastic.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here, Johnny, and I can't wait to see what you discovered too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.